Peterson here today with the Project Advantage podcast, and I've got David Shiller, the editor of LightNOW, joining us again. We spoke, I think, early in the fall about the fluorescent bulbs going away. So welcome, David. Would you like to introduce yourself just for a moment?
Sure. Great to be back, Neil. Thank you for having me. I wear a couple of hats in the industry. I'm the editor of LightNOW, as you mentioned. I'm also a business development consultant and do a good bit of recruiting as well. But we'll assume I'm here today with my LightNOW editor hat on.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we talked about was just really talking about the industry a little bit. What went good or bad last year? Where do we see things going? Just to help give the people that follow us some insight into what we see happening and what they can expect. But when we met last, we did talk about fluorescent and the move to outlaw that or to go away in many places. Was there any more progress on that last year?
It really seems to have stalled, except a few more effective dates kicking in with the laws that are on the books. So it still remains at 10 states plus Canada that have active fluorescent lamp bans. But no, I don't see more about to hit.
Yeah, I think that's going to probably be another 3 or 4 years before we see government taking action. But I think the industry itself is doing it. As we had spoken before, ballasts are getting more expensive. Supply is going down. So I think by the sheer nature of it, and with all the benefits that LED provide, from the home to the commercial to the industrial space, I think it's just going to happen on its own anyway.
And it's similarly happening with HID without bans for the same reasons you're talking about. The economies of scale are killing them, the legacy technology.
Oh, I mean, you can get a commercial 200-watt LED that dials down to 100-watt for under $100, and the ballast alone is almost $300 if you can find it.
Yeah. It's not legacy technology is not long for this planet.
So when you go look at where we came from 2025 into 2026, what do you think will be the key technology one or two changes that we're going to start seeing more of that will really benefit the consumer or the end user?
Well, you and I have we just talked about fluorescent lamp bans. We talked about, I suspect we're going to talk about tariffs a little bit. But in terms of those government drivers of big change, the big one that I'm starting to see just since New Year's is light pollution laws, state light pollution laws kicking in. So Maine just passed one last month in January that was very strict. And Hawaii has just introduced one that's very strict in their legislature, hasn't passed yet. And there's about another 10 states that have bills under consideration as well. These are all light pollution laws of different kinds or dark sky.
And what do those mainly cover? Is that an uplight type of restriction? So the lights all got to be down, a color temperature, maybe
both, and
sensors
and sometimes in natural areas or coastal areas, they'll have something akin to turtle safe requirements.
Yeah, we do see that. And I mean, it's interesting. I do summer in upstate New York up in the Adirondacks, and you can actually see where the towns are because they're lit up above them, so you can see the light at night. And I know the Adirondacks up in upstate New York have really begun doing a lot of work. We actually had a customer that went and bought some fixtures for a little putt-putt golf place. And he bought 5,000 K. It's what he wanted. He bought brackets to tilt them up. And, he called me and said, hey, the Park Association came and said, I can't use these. And so we worked with him to get them swapped out for the right thing. But it does make a difference for, the world we live in. I would agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the biggest trends for this year is proliferation of dark sky requirements and adoption.
And we want that. I mean, you don't want it, but you want it. It's that, so the thing in our business that I think we've really seen is the wattage changing, color changing, optic changing, the all-in-one fixture. And we see that really having real impact for our customers this year. Have you seen that in your spaces you found?
I agree completely. I think the optic selectable is been gaining steam, and there's multiple ways that that can be accomplished, whether through switching out optics or dialing the position of the optic in a different way, or turning on and off different banks of LEDs to create different distributions types. So yeah, there's a number of ways that it can be accomplished, but it's definitely a growing trend now.
And what we've seen, the impact of it has been that the customer that would get a product and say, "Oh, wow, it's too bright," or "It's not enough light." We traditionally do our lighting plans at the middle wattage with a fixture. So that in case the customer gets it, they want more light or they want less light. People aren't coming and saying, "Hey, I need to return these." We're getting a lot less of that. And we're also finding we're able to stock a lot more of them so that for our customers, we always have product on hand for them, which I think is very beneficial to the industry.
And of course, one of the biggest benefits is reduced stocking required for manufacturers, distributors, and contractors.
It's called just-in-time lighting. So, how about solar? Have you seen solar get a better hold in the U.S.? It struggled for a while. There were a lot of cheap solutions, but we've definitely seen an increase.
So solar lighting, yes, I see growth. Um, I know of companies in that space that are growing. I do a little recruiting, and I'm doing work with one of them. Um, there's growth in the hybrid uh, category or subcategory of solar lighting. More manufacturers getting into that. The tariffs created greater spikes in copper, which led to more metal theft, and that's actually indirectly increased demand for solar lighting because there's no cabling between them to be stolen, and it's a possible solution for that problem. So yeah, I think there's a number of factors coming together to increase demand for solar lighting.
And you mentioned it, the T word. We do get our customers always ask us, are the tariffs, the price is going to go up or tariffs going up? And, we had that ever since the beginning of the year, last year. And every month or two, people were fearful that tariffs would go up again. Have you seen what, has it plateaued? Do you see things as unknown?
I don't see quite the turbulence on the tariff front that we did about a year ago when it really unleashed. So things are not as bad as it was last spring. But tariffs were put in place and prices have gone up. There's significant inflation in the producer price index for luminaires. That started back during the pandemic, but it continues through last year, in part because of tariffs. They're changing the real estate market because tariffs drive up the cost of new homes and shift market activity to multifamily and residential adaptive reuse of commercial buildings and remodeling things, anything other than new homes. So yeah, there's impacts from the tariffs, even if it's not as unstable as it was a year ago.
Right. Yeah. No, you definitely did see price increases, and it did get passed on to the end user. Because as a business, you gotta keep your business going. And I think the impact we saw is some companies weren't able to react to it quickly enough. And we did see some companies go out of business through that, both in China and in the US, as I think we had talked about earlier.
Yeah, I've seen it with some manufacturers closing up shop too.
I mean, I think the biggest thing we saw was the unknown of what was going to happen. Delaying it versus just whatever it was, let's do it, let's stabilize it, was the biggest issue that we ran into. And it caused customers, we found, not to kick off big projects and projects to get delayed. But at this point, I think it's stabilized. As long as there are not some new things that go into place, I think the lighting market that you and I are both present in will continue to grow. Because I think it's funny, we talked about the rebates before, but that we're now seeing utilities give rebates to upgrade LEDs. And in our space, where we've seen it, where they maybe have a 200 or a 250 watt LED, you can now replace that with a 100, 120 watt and get a 50% savings and rebates on it. So we're seeing that today.
I'd say that's one of the bigger trends in rebates right now. More control rebates, increased activity around network lighting control, HVAC integration, and even battery energy storage systems seem to be increasing in rebates, which is interesting and an area that I think more manufacturers are looking at as an electrification category, much like the EV chargers that we've seen for several years.
Right. And the same people install those. You know, it's
Yes.
your
And the same
certified.
distributors sell them. Yes.
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah.
I mean, lighting has been exciting. You know, it's not that flashy thing, but I think there are a lot more key features that are really driving lighting to be very important in a business strategy, and all the things around it, like from the the HVAC controls, just controlling your energy costs and driving them down is because that just helps the environment. You know, less carbon footprint and all those things. So. Well, good. So what's that one prediction you have for this year? I know I didn't prep you on
The
that, but
one
is there some? Do you see something that's going to potentially change the thing you've seen that will change the industry the most from your standpoint?
I'd say in addition to those dark sky laws that I'm watching, just the unbelievable growth in data centers is another one that has unpredictable impacts on the industry or things that many people wouldn't have predicted. So it's driving electricity costs way up, which can, improve the ROI of a basic lighting retrofit.
LED, and they all need a lot of light because I mean we sell a lot of what you call the 8-foot strip lights in there. They require hundreds of them, but from a wattage differential, it's a 100-watt versus a 400-watt metal halide or whatever it may be. So there's significant energy savings there. You're absolutely right. But the whole AI drive is going to continue to drive LEDs.
Yeah, there's a whole web of consequences, from AI to the data centers to electricity spiking to it's interesting how the impacts sort of ripple out.
I guess what I want to leave just my people with, and maybe is I get back to the thing you talk about, the dark sky, the people really trying to keep the light. Because when I drive around my town today, it's really interesting. I keep every couple blocks, I get hit in the eye with a light that someone's got shining into the road. I mean, it's very distracting, and it really does hurt our environment, and it messes up animals, senses, all sorts of things. And I think, if one thing happens that I would be very happy about, and that would be more cities and towns or states take up, policy that controls that more. And even maybe the color temperature, maybe 4K becomes the standard because that white light can be very white.
I think the CCT will continue to go down even beyond 4K. I think 3K is becoming common with outdoor lights. And then they've just even defined new 1800 and 2000K CCTs specifically for dark sky purposes, and additional amber colors as well in some of the standards. So I think you'll see over time, gradually, the CCTs go down, and approach amber, gradually.
Yeah, and we've traditionally been 4 and 5K on our area lights outdoor. We now are about to release a 3, 4, 5K version, and we'll look below that just because people are asking for it. And again, it's the same product, so it's one SKU will now meet all those requirements. So
absolutely,
so it is an exciting time. So. Well, David, I really appreciate you joining me here today. It was good to catch up with you. And we'll look maybe early fall to maybe do another one just to see where the year's gone so far.
I'd welcome the chance.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you very much, sir. You have yourself a great day, and hopefully it doesn't snow for you. And I want snow.
Thank you. Take care.